The wedding hall was buzzing with whispers. Everyone had gathered to witness the marriage of Ethan Blake, one of the richest and coldest CEOs in the city. Known for his ruthless business deals and sharp mind, people admired his power but feared his arrogance. Tonight, however, they weren't whispering about his wealth. They were whispering about his bride. No one had seen her face. From the moment she entered, she was covered by a heavy veil, her figure hidden beneath a modest white gown. Rumors spread quickly through the crowd. "Did you hear? The Blake family forced him into this marriage. They say the bride is ugly. That's why she's hiding her face. A man like Ethan trapped with a nobody. What a joke!" The cruel words floated around like poison, but the bride stood quietly at the altar, unmoved. Her posture was straight, her hands steady, her silence strong. Ethan, on the other hand, was furious inside. He had agreed to this marriage only because of family pressure and a business alliance. He didn't even know her name until a few weeks ago. To him, she was just a burden, someone he had been tricked into marrying. Standing beside her, he refused to look in her direction. His jaw was tight, his expression cold, and his heart heavy with anger. To the world, he looked like a proud man tolerating an unpleasant duty. The priest's voice broke the tension. "Do you, Ethan Blake, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife?" "I do," Ethan answered flatly, his eyes forward, never once glancing at the veiled figure. "And do you, bride, take this man to be your husband?" "I do." Her voice rang clear and steady, soft but filled with a quiet confidence that surprised everyone. Even Ethan's eyes flickered for a moment at the strength in her tone. The ceremony moved forward until finally the priest announced the words everyone was waiting for. "You may now lift the veil and kiss the bride." The entire hall went silent. The whispers stopped. Every eye turned to Ethan. His hand froze in midair, hesitation written across his face. For the first time in years, the powerful CEO looked uncertain. Slowly, almost unwillingly, Ethan reached forward and lifted the veil. What he saw left him breathless. Gasps filled the hall. The mocking guests fell silent as if struck by lightning. Beneath the veil was not the ugly woman they had expected, but a breathtakingly beautiful young woman. Her eyes sparkled with intelligence and pride, her features so delicate and striking that even the chandeliers above seemed to bow to her presence. Ethan's world tilted. His cold mask cracked for a brief second. This was no trick, no joke. He had not been forced into marrying someone beneath him. He had married a woman who carried herself like a queen. And in that moment, everything began to change. The hall remained frozen after the veil was lifted. Guests who had mocked the mysterious bride now stared in stunned silence. The woman standing beside Ethan was not just beautiful, she was extraordinary. Her eyes, sharp and full of dignity, scanned the crowd without fear. Ethan, the cold CEO, felt his chest tighten. For the first time in years, he had no words. His thoughts raced. How could I have been so blind? He had judged her before even knowing her, assuming she was a curse forced upon him. Now he realized he was the fool, but the bride was not smiling. Her lips curved into a calm, almost sad line. She turned slightly toward him and spoke softly, yet her voice carried across the room. "Don't worry, Mr. Blake," she said. "I didn't want this marriage either. But since our families decided our fate, I will honor my word. You don't need to pretend." Her words cut deeper than any insult Ethan had ever received in his life. She was not begging for his acceptance. She was showing him she needed nothing from him. That independence, that quiet pride, shook him to the core. The guests, embarrassed by their earlier gossip, tried to mask their shame. The ceremony ended quickly, and Ethan led his new wife out of the hall. On the way to the car, he stole glances at her, but she kept her eyes forward, distant and untouchable. That night back at the Blake mansion, the silence between them was heavy. Ethan finally spoke. "You could have told me who you really were." The bride looked at him, her gaze sharp. "And what difference would it have made? You had already decided I was a burden before meeting me." Her honesty stung. Ethan opened his mouth to argue, but he couldn't. She was right. For years, He had prided himself on being a man who could see through lies, a man who judged character instantly. But with her, he had failed miserably. Over the next few days, Ethan found himself watching her more closely. She moved through his mansion with grace, treating the staff with respect and earning their admiration. She read books in the library, managed herself with quiet discipline, and never once asked for his wealth. One evening, he overheard the staff whispering about her. "She's amazing. So humble, so kind. She's not what we expected at all." For the first time, Ethan felt a strange warmth in his chest. He realized the woman he thought was a trap might actually be the one person who could challenge him, change him, maybe even heal the emptiness inside him. One night, as they stood on the balcony overlooking the city lights, Ethan finally spoke the words that had been burning inside him. "I was wrong about you," he admitted quietly. "I thought I was tricked, but maybe I was the one fooling myself all along." The bride turned to him, her eyes softening just slightly. For the first time, a small smile touched her lips, and in that moment Ethan knew what began as a forced marriage might just turn into the greatest love story of his life.